Okay, we're here. Can you believe it? Episode 1.
Sitting in the corner of a cemetery
Yeah.
on the heights of Folkestone. As the breeze blows overhead, you can hear it shaking the trees, the birds. The birds are chirping.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sunny day.
Beautiful day.
Stunning.
Cemeteries aren't always our go-to for when sitting and having a conversation.
Yeah.
It was just a very nice spot to avoid that lovely breeze.
And people.
And people. Yes. Maybe the people we meet at the cemetery will be a fun conversation anyway.
If anyone comes over to this corner
Yes.
to talk to us,
It will be an interesting conversation.
that will be an interesting person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 1 of
Great.
Conversation
Yes.
with Seb Fairley.
And Haydn Griffiths.
Here we go. What do we want to talk about, Haydn?
What are we going to talk about today? What's relevant to life right now?
It's a big question.
What are people dealing with? What's come up in conversations with you recently?
Ooh. I even like the word relevance. You just said, what's relevant right now? I think that's a...
Do you know what is totally relevant, which is so interesting because we
Yes.
are in a cemetery?
Go on.
We were talking about the podcast you listened to where she was saying you can speak to the dead.
Yes.
And I had a client of mine tell me today her father passed.
Right.
And
okay.
she's having a break from our work.
Okay.
And we're in a cemetery.
It feels right.
It feels right to talk about death.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we should just revisit that conversation we had earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about, today we're going to have a great conversation about death.
About death.
Which is super relevant to all of us.
Yeah.
And not a normal conversation to be had at all.
Quite a scary one sometimes.
Certainly.
I don't know how often I talk about it with people.
About death.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an opener, isn't it?
No. No, it's not an opener. It's not an opener at all.
Hey, I'm Seb. What are your thoughts on death?
What are your thoughts on death?
That would be such an interesting handshake.
I think do you know what? I think the way that we either do or don't talk about death could tell us so much about the people we are, the people we're being.
Okay. Tell me more.
So what comes to mind for me is I had a conversation with somebody some time ago, and they were talking to me about somebody they had lost or who had died recently.
Yeah.
And I think by default, most people apologize and they close off the conversation. Well, they end it.
It is an uncomfortable.
Yeah.
How do you talk about death? And I know when someone says, hey, my father died, I'm often left with,
where do I go?
F, F-U-C-K.
Yeah,
what do I say? How do I be?
Yeah.
And it's it shocks me.
Yes.
Whoa,
what do I do? How do I handle this?
Yeah.
How do I react? And I don't know what drove me to do so, but I asked them to tell me about them.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that's it, right? It's the thing to do isn't necessarily something to do. It's to be present and to listen.
Yeah.
To just be there and
Absolutely.
let them share and express.
Yeah. And maybe that's a very good example of how to pivot when something is uncomfortable. Why was that uncomfortable? Why is it uncomfortable when someone says, oh, this person who I loved has died. I don't know how to react. And I just said, tell me about it. And then we spoke about that person. And that wasn't an awkward conversation. The light that came from the person I was talking to was huge. They were bright talking about the person they had lost.
They got to get present to the life and impact of that person on them.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And they came back for a moment, maybe.
They came back to life by speaking about them.
Absolutely.
Wow, you're onto something there.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so that's like, no, it's like, what is it to be alive and what is it to truly die?
Mm.
So the essence of that human exists in the conversations and the impact that human had on the person who was speaking.
Right.
Brings that, when sharing about it, brings that quote unquote dead person back to life.
Yes.
Makes them very alive for the speaker.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it was a really nice moment. It was a really lovely moment. And the person I was talking to thanked me for it afterwards. Which lived in the same world of, oh, I don't know how to react to that, because
So it was like and sorry, I interrupted. I'm not sorry, I interrupted.
statement.
I did interrupt.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue anyway. That's the asshole I am. I lost my own train of thought. I totally lost it.
I was saying that they thanked me for it.
Yeah.
And I was even a bit taken back by the thank that, oh.
They're probably, it's death is, for most of us, not a common thing.
No.
So they're probably experiencing, how do I be about the death?
Yeah.
What is the appropriate way for me to be? And maybe there is no appropriate way to be. And it's simply allowing of whatever is there, the discomfort and all. You just let it be. And let them be as well.
Yeah, and I think for so many of us, I wonder how often we're able to talk about that person when they've gone.
The dead person,
the person that's died. How often are they spoken about? And every time that the potential for them being spoken about happens, it's very quickly closed off. It's very quickly,
we shut it down, don't we? Like
we do, yeah.
Oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to upset people. I don't want to ruin their day. I don't want to cause emotions. What happens if they cry?
God, what happens if they feel something? Right? Be that.
Oh, what have we got against feelings in our culture?
That's huge.
Huh.
And where else does it show up? How do we? There's no way of me knowing without asking the impact that conversation might have had on that person, and where that showed up in, maybe at work or with their family or something later. But I know how it showed up to me, and it felt really different. Like I remember walking away from that conversation going, that was really nice. What a moment.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think there's something there in.
There was a space present, or you caused a space of something, and something showed up in that space that you allowed.
It was open communication rather than closed, wasn't it?
I think that's a bit too vague and generalized language that we use.
Right.
There was.
What does that even mean?
There was. Yeah. Open communication.
What does that mean?
But there was definitely an openness.
Yeah.
There was an allowing of full human expression and experience to be in the space.
Yeah.
There was no right or wrong or judgment or it needs to be a certain way. You just created this space where, hey, I'm here. Share with me. Let me in.
I can't name what there was, but I can name what there wasn't.
Okay.
And there wasn't resistance.
No resistance.
There wasn't the resistance that usually is present surrounding that topic, that hard conversation. It's met with resistance. That resistance might be the closing of the conversation, or...
There is often a reaction when it comes to talking of death.
Yes.
For sure. That is a sensitive topic for most people.
Absolutely.
Charged, and we definitely get a sense of we're supposed to be a certain way about specific subjects.
Yeah.
When we're raised, and death is probably one of those subjects where, but then there isn't, because we never talk about it.
Right.
So what is the supposed way to be when talking about death? We're all afraid of it, Am I losing you?
No.
I'm kind of losing myself here.
I think I understand where your thoughts are going.
We think there's a supposed way we're supposed to be in life.
There's a default behavior
a default behavior, a default way of showing up. We want to look good. We don't want to look bad.
So we apologize and we say, sorry, that happened.
And we talk about the weather.
Yeah.
Instead of real shit that happens. In life. The real stuff.
What is the default that usually plays out? I think we go, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we go, when did he die?
And then we freak out like,
what happened?
How do I be with this?
And usually I think this word follows. Anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Someone says anyway.
So we're trying to move on.
Yeah, and that might be the person who is related to whom this relationship existed.
There's an awkwardness to it, isn't there? Yeah, like a internal.
Yeah.
How do I be with this?
And
what am I supposed to do?
It was such a simple little question I asked. I said, "What were they like?"
And that's the open part. That is so they can go anywhere with that. Hello, puppy. We've just had a little gorgeous toy poodle,
beautiful little dog,
or Cavalier poodle, I think. Come up. Hello. Oh, you are stunning. Very quiet.
You wouldn't tell that there's a small dog that's just joined us.
No.
That might be because they don't have a microphone.
Yeah, and it was a silent dog too.
Yeah, it's a pretty silent dog.
Sneaky little fluffy black thing. Beautiful, tiny. I think Cavalier poodle, toy poodle. Yeah. Which is highly distracting for two grown.
Yeah, we've both
talking about.
We've stopped that really mature conversation.
Serious.
It was so easy to become distracted. The power of dogs. Wow.
Anyway.
Anyway, the magic word. Anyway.
Yeah. What I'm really loving that I'm hearing is this. The allowing to be, no right, no wrong, not being the reaction. You were inviting and allowing of, just share with me.
Yes.
Tell me about the person.
Absolutely.
Which was received, I'm sure, with a smile.
Yeah, I described this person as being bright and happy, and it felt like the person they were talking about existed in the space for a bit, was brought back to life. It was
so we as a society don't often talk about death, and a result of that is we don't know how to be with death when it happens. Okay. We're told we're supposed to be sad. With this person, sounds like the person they were talking about had a wonderful impact, and if it brought a smile on the face to share about that this was a person they loved.
Yeah.
And so the way to be with death is allowing and accepting and just with it.
Yeah.
Not right, not wrong.
I think it also goes beyond just the idea of death. I think that's something we can do when we're faced with any conversation or topic that maybe feels awkward. I'm trying to identify
I love it.
What changed there.
So when we have a reaction,
yes,
of any kind, with any subject, any context, allowing it to be there, not resisting.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Because there was a reaction there for you, right? When they said
absolutely
someone died, and you had the reaction. And then what happened? What did you think? What did you do?
The first reaction I had within myself is I noticed myself become tense. I noticed this is what I normally do. And all I thought to myself is, I just thought, this doesn't feel nice. So when I said, it was just a pivot. It was such a split-second decision that I made, but I registered the look on the person's face I was talking to.
Yeah.
I registered the way I felt.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, like, what do I wish people have said to me when I talk about the people I've lost? And it's always been, I wish I could talk about them. So I just asked, I just said, what were they like?
It's amazing how quickly all of that happened for you. That's
milliseconds. It happened
unreal.
It was just, I wish I could remember how the person was brought up, because I can't remember that moment, but I remember that them being brought up it was part of the conversation, but it was very clear that I didn't know that that person had died. And I think it wasn't like talking about a grandparent where you kind of are okay with death. You kind of go, oh, that person.
You're expecting it.
You're expecting it.
Yeah.
It was a young person in this person's life. So,
yep.
So I think in that moment, I definitely felt like this needs a new approach.
Fascinating.
But it happens, you're right, it happens so quickly. And I remember after saying, what were they like?
Yeah.
I remember a moment of like, oh, this is going to go one of two ways. Like, oh.
So you're on the edge, looking at the cliff. Am I going to jump here or not?
Yeah, it was like, whoa, how's this going to go? And it was received really, really well. And they said, at the end of the conversation, they said, Seb, I've not been asked that before. And I don't think they meant they've never been asked what they were like. I think never has this conversation come up, and then the route that our conversation took hasn't happened before.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right.
Because the standard response is, oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Is there anything I can do? Like there is a standardized response, isn't there? And you went beyond it.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, here's the reaction, pivot, let's go here.
Yeah.
Something, I'm amazed at how fast your mind produced all that, actually.
Yeah, so I think I was amazed. You know what, I don't think I realised, I couldn't have been, I was consciously doing it, but there's no way that it was as fleshed out as you and I have just dissected it now. It was
power of reflection.
It was definitely, it must have been instinctive, but I also described how in the moment I initially went to do the normal. But I had enough.
It was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
And I think it's that I was aware of it.
Yes.
And most of the time we aren't aware of the way that we immediately respond.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I caught. I caught that, and I immediately went, oh, I'm aware of my default taking over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to override it. And I think that shows an opportunity of us being able to override that default behavior sometimes.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
And that shows up in our life consistently. It doesn't have to be surrounding death. We're using death as the stimulus here, but it could be anything that makes people go, oh, maybe I need to take a moment to maybe listen. Was there something I was picking up on?
Stop, take a breath.
Yeah, I know it was instinctive, and
and
you've said that happened so quickly for you. But unless I was immediately there in the moment, what was it that I noticed on her face? Right? What was it that I felt that showed me, oh, this is a path we can go down?
Yeah.
And she might have said they were great, and the conversation would have been over. But
it would have burst out crying.
Yeah, but it was great. There was definitely some emotion there for sure. There was watery eyes. But there was also a really great opportunity to speak about this person in a great way, and it really did stem from, what do I wish I could do when this happens to me?
Yeah,
and I think that's the quick thought that happened.
I've just thought that the power of what you said about the conversation brought them to life, that really landed for me. And I'm thinking about the rest of life where that's applicable.
Okay.
How much are we bringing to life as human beings simply because we keep talking about it? If we watch the news and we're watching all the nastiest stuff in the world, and what comes to our life is how nasty the world is. And we're bringing that to life by continuing this nasty conversation about the world.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas here you've had such a wonderful conversation. You brought to life the wonderfulness of this human being, which impacted the both of you and now us
Yeah.
in this moment.
It's now impacting you.
And it was all by choice of conversation, what we're
Yeah.
bringing to life.
And it was, I guess it was there was a recognition there of that what we say has impact. I don't think they were happening all at the same time. Maybe this is more of a reflective thought, but impact, it's something I'm aware of. It's something we've spoken about before, knowing that our words have impact.
Yes.
And when you're going through a developmental part of your life, maybe you're working with a coach, or maybe your training and your work is developmentally driven and reflective like ours.
Yeah.
That, that skill set is always kind of bubbling there.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe that's why the opportunity felt so easy to grab.
You're highly developed and trained in this area of what's going on for me. Your role is to impact and influence people for high performance in the team development space. So you've tuned your brain for this self-awareness and ability to read what's needed in the moment at a subconscious level. That makes total sense to me, that it happened that fast. It's also super impressive. You were able to read what was required, what was actually required in that moment with that lady.
Right.
That no one else had picked up on in her whole life. It was a lady.
Yeah, it was a lady.
Yeah, it was a lady.
Yeah, that no one had.
Because she said no one had said this before.
No one has asked me that before.
Yeah. So you've that simple practice of self-awareness. Well, maybe not simple, but it is simple.
It is
not
simple.
So easy at times. Open something up for you and this lady and life that wouldn't have existed.
Yes.
Yeah, and she got to get present to this person she loved and how great they were.
Yeah.
How nice is that?
Well, that feeling of, I wish I could have them with me again. Well, we did.
And they were.
And we
did.
did.
They were alive.
They were
in
there.
that moment.
And it goes back to something I think you mentioned earlier, which was that we can talk things into existence.
We do as humans.
We're really well versed in talking negative things into existence. We're not so well versed at the opposite of saying, I know this sounds so easy to do, to say today's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's, what I say has worth. It has weight.
Value, impact, yes.
I have impact. I have power. My words have power. My presence has power. And that doesn't necessarily mean the dangerous thing that we link to the word power. Sometimes the word power is taken in a way which
is a nasty association with it, for sure.
Yeah, the word feels red rather than yellow, right?
People kind of cringe and it's one of those he who shall not be named.
Absolutely.
Words,
But you use it in a different context, and we might say, wow, we had such a powerful conversation. That's the kind of power that I like to talk about myself with. When I walk into a space with someone and I totally believe that I'm powerful in that kind of way. Sometimes that power doesn't mean that I even talk. It sometimes means that I listen. And I'm very good at talking, as you can tell.
Listening.
I am a good talker.
Power is a subject we will do a podcast on in and of itself, because there is so much in there that we can open up. The power of words, if we use our words and don't follow them up with action, we lose all of our power.
Yeah.
Whereas if we follow our words and act them, we become incredibly powerful as a human being. When people know that what we say is what will happen, and we develop that integrity and reputation, we can speak things into existence for humanity.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll do a podcast on that. Yeah, I don't want to go too far off the topic of death.
Oh, definitely.
Such a wonderful conversation about it.
Well, I mean, it's become something else, hasn't it? The conversation evolved, hasn't it?
Yes.
Maybe it was rooted in death, but it's...
Well, I suppose they're all linked, aren't they? All these subjects are linked.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is, unless you've got anything more to say about your experience, I would like to bring us in another direction around death.
Yeah, I think I was just going to mention what we were discussing earlier together, faith. And I don't mean faith as in
religious
faith.
That turns a lot of people off.
Yeah. It's another word. It's another word that
It's got an association.
has an association.
Yeah.
And I'm really big on faith, as in having faith in
myself,
others, and others, and opportunity, and etc. And faith exists. Faith also exists within death, like what we've spoken about.
Okay.
I think there's an overlap, and heading back to what started this conversation, that podcast that I spoke about, which was, a scientist saying that she now truly believes that we can talk to the dead, and her job was to disprove that. And in trying to disprove it,
she proved it to herself.
She proved it.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah. I don't think that means that she actually spoke to ghosts, but it means that she put faith in this idea that she wanted to feel something, or connect something, or bring them back to her. And something happened, and they were brought back for a moment.
Can I expand this from a mindset coaching perspective?
Yeah.
Because I use this with my clients.
Please do.
So most of us have had someone we love die.
Okay.
And it's impactful. It hurts. It feels like there's a void within us.
Yeah.
Like something's missing in our life. Something has been lost from our life. If you look at the people you love, have a think about this. Would you rather pick a person.
Okay. My wife.
Your wife.
Yeah.
Would you rather lose her? And I'm talking about on a good day, not when you're in a breakdown and you're wishing she didn't exist. Not those times.
Not in those days.
Her or your left arm.
Oh, I'd be armless.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
We would rather give up our physical body than another person.
Oh.
So in a way, you could say we're more attached to the people we love than our own physical selves.
Oh, totally.
And then okay, so there's that point that we're attached to people in this deep metaphysical way.
Okay.
How about this? Have you ever sat next to someone and felt totally disconnected, or walked into a room and been like, I don't belong here, and felt isolated?
I can definitely connect to that feeling where you're like, maybe I'm not heard here. This is not my space. These aren't my people. Something like that.
Yeah. And so you're like uncomfortable and disconnected, and it's almost like you couldn't be further away from these people, even though they're right there physically.
Yes.
So in a real sense, you can be next to someone on the couch and feel like you're from different planets.
Yeah.
And you're disconnected. And at the same time, I can have a conversation with my parents who are on the other side of the world and feel totally with them.
Yeah.
Totally connected.
Yeah, I hear that.
So connection with others has nothing to do with physicality.
Right.
The connection with others exists in some other realm than the physical realm.
Yeah.
The same thing is true for people who die. The dead person may have gone physically from Earth. They still live with you at a very metaphysical level.
Right.
If I think about my mother, she died when I was about 2 years old, and yet I felt her presence my whole life.
Right.
And people have told me, Haydn, you are just like her, uncannily like her. Now, how can I be just like her when she never raised me?
Yeah.
I was raised by a different woman, and I'm just like her. And that brings up the nature versus nurture conversation, which we're not going to get into.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is the presence of others lives on beyond their physical life and lives with us. When this lady got to speak about this dead person, the presence of him or her was right there in the room. Yeah, it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it goes back to that, brought them back to life. They were,
When we speak of death of the physical body, but the impact we have on others lives on long past our death. I mean, for those people who are religious and for those who aren't, look at Jesus.
Yeah.
That his name is still shaping the world. The words he spoke are still shaping humanity 2,000 years on. Now, did he exist? Didn't he exist? Was he the Son of God? I don't have the answers to those questions. I don't even know if he did exist, but his name still impacts humanity, whether he did or didn't exist. Isn't that unreal? He still lives within people, even though physically he may have never even been here. And I don't mean to offend those of you who are religious. I totally respect your religions, see great value in them. He's still impacting humanity to this day.
Right.
Is he really dead?
Okay. Yeah.
You can pray to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I invite anyone who's listening now who has some resistance to this idea, go ahead and pray to Jesus. Ask him some questions, see what happens. If you can get beyond your resistance, I know that's going to be challenging, and you don't have to. It's an invitation. You're more than welcome to say no. But go and have a conversation with someone who has passed.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing.
It's
It goes
incredibly
back to
powerful.
have the faith to do so.
Call
it whatever you like.
Yeah.
I use the word Mother Nature.
Cool.
But my Mother Nature might be someone else's Jesus. It might be someone else's God. It might be someone else's
energy,
Buddha, or whatever.
Spirits.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
different names for it.
There's lots of titles.
Yeah.
But go ahead and do it.
Just to see what happens.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens.
Forget knowing what's actually happening or why it's happening or science or religion or any of that stuff you've got going on. Have a conversation with someone in your mind, out loud if you like, that is no longer physically with you, and see what happens. Ask them questions, see what answers come to you. See if you can let the answers come to you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a profound practice. Whatever's actually going on a scientific, religious, energetic, spiritual level, I don't have the answers for. I don't know. What I know is the practice can make a real difference.
And it makes you show up in a different way. You might show up to your next conversation, your next day at work, your next breakfast with the family.
Yeah.
You might show up differently because
you will
of it.
show up. If you do that,
not might,
you will.
You will.
It shifts something in your mind.
Yeah.
You won't be the same.
And it's a great way to practice. It's a great way to practice that beyond the idea of just death. Like that practice can then bleed into other forms of just powerful belief, right? Going back to, I believe that I can do it, or I've got the confidence to make that call, to have that conversation, to maybe to address that topic from a new perspective, like I did when someone said, this person actually died, and my brain said, pivot, what do I want to hear? Try that skill set too. When someone says something, maybe at work, maybe at home, and your default starts to come out, just challenge that default behavior.
Hang on a second. I'm having a default reaction here.
Yeah.
Am I going to follow it or go in a different direction?
Yeah.
Something different, something new. Say something new. Yeah.
And something that's showing up for me now too, as we kind of, it feels like we've naturally spoken about where we wanted to go with death, is that I started to listen. Like I gave a really open opportunity for me to do nothing other than listen. Because when I said, what were they like? I don't think I spoke for 5 minutes. I just got to like truly listen, because it was a really lovely moment. But that kind of active listening skill set came in, where it was, I'm not just hearing, sounds aren't just happening around me.
Yeah.
I'm actively really listening to what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm getting present to the other person's experience.
Yeah.
Perspective, all of that.
Absolutely.
You're allowing yourself to be influenced.
And maybe when we talk about death and we're given that opportunity, some of that default behavior of respecting that person, it's such a topic that we're not always discussing, and a sensitive one, that we treat it with respect. I wonder how often even myself has maybe not, I could have done that in a conversation I was having.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I wonder now, after this conversation with you.
We'll probably notice it everywhere.
Yeah, that's going to show up now. That's going to be like the yellow car that's going to pop up and be everywhere.
Where am I shutting down conversations in a way?
Okay, that's the discovery, I think. I think this has been a big conversation, and you've just identified the discovery we're having is, in where is my reaction to shut down? Because the default behavior or the reaction there was to
Where
close
does the
off.
reaction take over?
Yeah.
And I don't pivot and open up.
Yeah. And that's all that was. That was, I took the opportunity to open up and to pivot and to lean into rather than run away from.
Yeah.
That's what happened there.
So where else are you doing that?
Yeah.
And what would be the impact if you were able to be present to your default reaction, let it be there, and go in a different direction?
Right.
What else would you open up in life?
Absolutely. What other bright moments would happen?
We're going to have to report back in our next episode.
I think so. Yeah. It's a bit like these podcasts, really.
Okay.
Because they're a conversation that we've both chosen to lean into.
Yeah.
Where
we don't know where they're going to go.
We don't know where this is going. One of us wants to talk about this. We're going to really actively listen to each other. And we're going to maybe we are shifting up those default behaviors sometimes. I don't think we'll always do it, but I think these conversations are a really good example of the conversation I was talking about, of the tell me about him. I want to talk about this.
Inviting. Yeah. And I loved how you felt at risk in that moment and went there anyway.
Yeah.
You didn't know what would happen and you invited it in anyway.
Yes.
And I love that you did that.
And do you know what? It's one thing to be able to do that with, I don't know, a good friend or a brother or a sister.
Do that with a stranger.
Yeah, but this person I'm talking about was my friend's sister. Must have been maybe my third time meeting them, which meant someone who I have not had.
There wasn't that standard safety in the relationship.
Yeah, and also for someone who I've not had a lot of experience with, I got to learn.
She was so ready for it.
Yeah, I think she was probably really. She must have been when she said no one's ever asked me that before. I'm sure there was almost like a.
She must have felt on the edge too.
Yeah, we were both in the same place.
Danger. Like, do I open up to this person? Do I? Yeah.
But I think she was in the same place as I was when she said, maybe her brain went, "Oh no, I'm going to have to do this thing again. I've had to bring up the fact that they've died, and we're going to have to
say the same.
We're going to have to
go through the regular dance of I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, and this and that.
Oh, how are you?
And I'm going to have to push them down again, and that whole thing. You never know. I can't know. I can only assume that might have happened for her too. But I think the fact that we were both so open to the pivot, means that maybe that means we were both in the same place first. We were both on that edge. My edge was, oh God, this is awkward. Her edge was, oh no, this is awkward. We're going to have to play this. We're going to do this dance. Yeah. We're going to do the dance that we always do.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen.
Be polite, say the right thing. Yeah. Don't look bad. Don't say the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when the questions that we ask are like, oh, how did they die? It's like, oh, yeah, like what? That's like the worst. Feels like the default, but it feels like the worst thing to ask. Like,
it is. I do find it interesting how people die. Personally,
I'm sure it's probably. Yeah, if you're going to talk about that person, it's like, oh, it's like the worst bit.
Probably not what she would like to communicate.
Yeah, she probably would have wanted to talk about it any other.
He was murdered.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not the part of their life you want to get present to.
Yeah, and saying what were they like completely pivots the whole conversation. We were talking about
that's so beautiful,
their
isn't
energy, what they were like from a friendship point of view, or when they were growing up, or it was just what were they like as a person.
Yeah.
And that's such a bright I think it's such a bright alternative to what we traditionally see as such a dark conversation.
Yeah, you do have an interesting view on death. I have read there are cultures that literally, and I don't mean like pretend, I mean literally celebrate death.
Yeah.
And it is a moving on, and that people are ecstatic when someone dies because they're on to the next stage of life, which is such a far concept for us Westerners.
Yeah.
When we think of, celebratory of life, we're still thinking a funeral where we're going to be sad,
yeah.
you know, we're
Yeah,
going to cry. And
I would love for my death day to be a celebration.
And the language you used early on was a loss, which makes me think like I've misplaced something and I don't know where it is. When someone dies, we know where they've gone, you know, from where we know they've gone from this plane, the physical reality. If there's something after, I have no idea. I'm not going to claim to have the answers, but we know they're not here anymore. And we haven't misplaced them, but we do experience as a loss, like there is something missing from our life, which is interesting. I don't think I'm going to take that any deeper. I think I'm losing myself in my thoughts again. Something else you mentioned, well, we're talking about, you know, this metaphysical reality of the impact people have on us. Like she was sharing about the energy this person has, and that's what she's left with after this person has died. Well, that's happening while we're alive too.
Yeah.
And what for you, the listener, what I'd say is, what is the impact you are having on others? If you were to die today or tomorrow, what would people say about you? And is that what you want them to say about you?
Yeah.
And I think that gives us a really good sense of if we're living our life in integrity.
Right.
If I was to die today and you were to speak of me, Seb, is it what I'd want you to say about me? And I'd say probably yes.
Yeah.
You'd say I was happy, enthusiastic, engaging. I had this intense energy, and, you know, I brought personal growth wherever I was. I'd assume that's
pretty much what
pretty
I would
accurate.
say. Yeah.
And so I can say from that, I'm totally in alignment with who I want to be in life.
And the way you're showing up in regards to our relationship, right? That's a really great question to ask yourself. Like,
tell me more.
Like, is the way that Seb would talk about me when I'm gone, is that what I want?
Yeah.
Is that a representation of the path and the journey and the relationship you're building with them? Because if you ask that question and what they're going to say isn't what you want, okay, then
there's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect.
Something's amiss.
And that's not always the case, right? Maybe you're not aligning with your friend right now. Maybe you are clashing with that colleague.
Yeah.
And there's a good opportunity to go, if that happened today, how would they talk about me? If you would say they would talk about me and you say all those positive things, then maybe what you're thinking isn't as deep as you think it is. Maybe the conflict is not as huge. Maybe it's not going to be as scary to overcome. If you really think the things that have happened have impacted that so much, it's definitely time to address it. Do you see where I'm trying? The avenue I'm trying to point.
Yeah.
To.
So it's like in our everyday lives, we have breakdowns.
Yeah.
With the people we normally have great relationships with.
Totally.
I had one with my brother this year,
Yeah.
you know, and in those moments he was probably calling me an a-hole.
Yeah.
when the norm is we're loving, we're in communication, we're there for each other. So we do have those breakdowns. If we're looking at the overall, what would they say about us?
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, if they'd say, you know what, we were in a breakdown recently and I'm upset that he died and we didn't get to clean that breakdown up because he's normally a loving, powerful person, then you know you're in integrity.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about 100% of time. We're talking about 80% of the time. Right. What would they say about you?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be times where Seb and Haydn are in conflict and we are just venting to our wives about what a-holes we are.
You know? Absolutely. Yeah.
And
And in that moment, yeah, maybe the descriptors don't match up.
And if Seb died in that moment, I would be like, I would probably let go of all of that hurt and pain and be like, experience that loss and, oh my, Seb's gone.
Yeah.
Why was I being so bitter and twisted towards him about the type of font we're going to use on the PowerPoint side?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're saying ask yourself that constantly, because that's not a good,
it's a weird,
it's not a great point to always be like, hey, what if I died tomorrow? But it is a good question. But it is a good temporary, like,
am I in integrity?
Yeah.
Am I living my values?
Yeah. Am I living what I want?
Am I? Yeah.
Are people going to talk about me the way
I want them to.
I want them to? And
Yes.
it's a great way to become aligned with saying, oh, you're going to speak that stuff into existence. Because if the answer is no, you're thinking that about yourself. The questions we were just asking, we don't know. You're like, I don't know how you're going to talk about me. You don't know how I'm going to talk about you unless we ask each other.
Yeah.
And if our thoughts are not of love and kindness and etc., then I think there's
something else to
there's
look
something
at.
else to work out. There's a guiding force there to be able to go there. So in the spirit of talking about death in this podcast, I think there's that too, that there's that big question of what do I want to be remembered for? And most of the time it's got nothing to do with the car. It's got very little to do with
the gold chains,
those things.
Yeah.
We often name
character
and
influence, impact, how they made us feel,
integrity, like you said,
beforehand.
And those, when we really think about it, it's how can we work on those things in line with everything else?
Yeah,
of course, in line with everything else.
Yeah,
what a fun conversation.
Yeah, and what a great thing. Like you said, not every day thinking about death, though being aware that you are mortal,
yeah,
and that you will die, and that this is coming, and we don't know when. None of us know when.
Yeah,
none of it. Very few of us get the luxury of knowing
when
an appropriate and an approximate time that it is coming. It is important to remember with this conversation with my daughter, if this was the last conversation, is this how I'd want to leave it? Mm-hmm. Do I want my wife storming out of the house angry with me and then getting into a car accident, and that's the last conversation? Because we don't know when that last conversation will be. My mum said to me when I had my daughter, my first child, Hayden, one day you'll put your daughter down and you'll never pick her up again. And that has just rung so true. Mm. And when I am agitated with my wife, I do think, is this how I want to leave it? Do I want to go to bed with this anger? Mm. Do I want her to leave the house frustrated at her husband? And the answer is no. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I don't get over myself. Yeah. And, I become vengeful and bitter and twisted, and I want her to suffer.
Yeah, we all do that.
But I think that conversation and asking yourself and being present to our own mortality can be an empowering and powerful and important conversation to be having with ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I saw it in COVID. People stopped and thought, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah,
I really want to be doing this job?
People launched businesses, changed career paths, started families, moved countries, made leaps.
Remember death for the power it can give you to be present to how important every conversation and every day really is. That it may be the last one.
Yeah.
That may be someone, like if it's me who dies, I may leave them in annoyance or frustration, unresolved. Or I can leave them empowered and happy, and with that, when they talk about me, it brings joy to life for them.
So I'm hearing let's not ignore it in the way that at the very start of this podcast, I explained the default behavior felt like we had to push it away.
Yeah, push it away.
Don't push it away. Sometimes it's there to be
death is there to remind us to live life.
Yeah.
Not hide from it.
Absolutely.
Not avoid it.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is, we invite you, the listener, to create an empowering relationship with death. Not hide from it, not avoid it, not make it wrong and bad. Use it as something to have you live your life to the fullest.
Yeah.
And that is a great
conversation.
Yeah.
That is a great conversation.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you for listening. We look forward to being with you again soon. Alive.
Yeah, alive. Yeah.
And if this is the last conversation that's recorded from Haydn Griffiths. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, me too.
I got to live true.
Right back at you.
Yeah, thank you.
This is the last
being a part of
recording.
it.
What a great conversation.
What a great conversation.
Absolutely. Cool.
Cool.
Until episode 2.
Until then.
Nice.